What are they achieving?
Well, what they're saying is they want maximum disruption to stop the government extracting oil and gas.
Yeah, but that's cooking oil.
Hey, what's up, world? Hope you're all having as good of a week as I'm having. And I'm not even having that great of a week. But you know, I make the best of it. We have our ups, we have our downs. It's up to us to step back and laugh at it all. Especially the downs. Because life is not a tragedy, it's a comedy. At least if you're looking at it from the right perspective. So anyway, I got a whole bunch of stupid things lined up for us. Some of it might even fall under the category of just pure undiluted madness. But whatever, I'm going to put it under the stupid category because we're pretty stupid for tolerating that madness. So anyway, without any further delays, let's jump right into this video because like I said, we got a lot of stupidity to cover. So our first article, I'm going to start off, oh no, what happened? This is not supposed to be our first article. Uh-oh, I messed up my order. How did that happen? Oh, whoa, this is not supposed to be our first article either. Okay, there goes our first article. Look at that. I'm starting this video off pretty freaking stupid myself right now. Anyway, let's laugh at me, and then let's get right to business. So our first article is from The Independent, and it's titled, Dog-Free Zones Needed to Make Outdoor Spaces Anti-Racist, Welsh Government Told. So a Climate Cymru BAME report to the Welsh Government has recommended dog-free zones should be introduced to local green spaces. Now, this whole thing is in itself racist, so let's get to the gist of this article. Guess what BAME stands for? There's a lot of stupidity in this article. I want to start with what BAME stands for, and I think it's down here. It's right over here. Okay, here we go. The Welsh Government launched its anti-racism plan in 2022 and is now looking to include work on climate change, rural affairs, and the environment based on evidence from Black, Asian, and minority ethnic people across Wales. So that's what BAME stands for. And of course, these idiots in this article, they don't even keep the acronym correct, because in an acronym, of course, it's supposed to be all capital letters. So then throughout this article, it's like they use BAME in lowercase letters, and it's like, is this a person's name? It's like, no, it's an acronym. It's a really freaking stupid acronym. And they're all like, oh yeah, some people, some of these minority groups claim that they fear dogs outside. So one female said she felt unsafe with the presence of dogs as she feared an attack. So they basically extrapolate like some anecdotal evidence and then apply it to these entire racial groups. And they're basically like, oh yeah, all of these people that fall under this category are afraid of dogs, so we need to like take some action and we need to ban dogs in certain green places to open up like those green places to these groups. And this article is just really funny because it's like, I guess having a dog outside in the park is now equates to racism. And it's like this article is like racism. And it's like the whole time I'm just thinking of like that scene from A Princess Bride where the guy's all like, you keep using that word, but I don't think it means what you think it means.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. My God.
But anyway, let's not linger here for too long because we got other articles to cover. This one's just, pointing out the racist anti-racist. They themselves are enacting racist policies and they don't even realize it. They're all like, oh no, we put the anti-racist label on ourselves, so nothing we do can actually be racist, right? Whatever. Let's move on to our next article. It is studies showing puberty blockers do not improve kids' mental health, not published for fear of being weaponized. Which is basically another way of saying it wasn't published from fear of it being used against them.
Oh, did you find out why all the guys in Pit 6 are losing their hair?
Yes, and we are currently in the process of refuting the results of that investigation.
That's right, and this is not just covered by Fox. So wait a second. So starting in 2015, Dr. Olson Kennedy gave 95 kids, minors, who aren't even capable of consent, gave 95 of them puberty blockers to find they had no effect on their mental health. Obviously, buddy. I mean, this is like somebody having a mental health crisis, right? Somebody has a mental health crisis. They think that they can fly, right? So you're like, all right, you think you're a bird? Okay, let's go to the top of a 6-story building. Jump off. They jump off. The person, obviously, what happens is obvious. And then the doctor is all like, very intriguing findings. I guess that didn't help them. It's like, yeah, no shit, man. This person is having a mental health crisis. They're clearly disassociated from reality. Making them more or playing into that disassociation, playing into that delusion, is not going to help their mental health at all. Now, what's interesting is Fox News isn't the only one that covered this. This was covered by the New York Times, but of course, if you want to read it, you gotta, pay. So, U.S. study on puberty blockers goes unpublished because of politics, doctor says. No, it's because of your own politics. What it is you didn't publish it. You guys chose not to publish it because you know if you did, it would make you guys look stupid, and then people might actually start questioning your narrative. So what do? You're like, hey, let's not be transparent. Oh, who needs transparency, especially in the realm of academia and psychological research? No, we don't need transparency. We don't need evidence. We don't need data. Let's get rid of all that shit because it counters our narrative. This is insanity. This is madness. This isn't just stupidity. This is madness on another level. And the fact that we allow it makes us stupid. Alrighty, so while we're talking about transparency, that's lack of transparency in academia, and not even academia. What would that fall under? Like the scientific community? That's actually not even academia. That's just like lack of transparency in our scientific community. I guess that would fall under scientific research. While we're talking about lack of transparency, this one blew my mind. January 6th shocker. It is a shocker. Phone companies dispute FBI testimony on pipe bomb suspect, key lawmakers reveal. So check this out. On January 6th, in the early morning hours, you have this character who was caught on video. They have the time that he was there. This idiot had his cell phone in his pocket. It was on. It was pinging cell phone towers. They could figure out who this individual is. But the FBI, in their testimony, they're like, oh yeah, we're trying to investigate who this guy is. We can't figure it out because the cell phone data was corrupted. So they came out and said this, and then the cell phone companies was like, these people are fucking lying. This data was not corrupted. They have the data. The FBI is just refusing to actually identify this individual. And you know what that means, right? It means they're involved in this. There's some government member probably involved with this whole thing, so they're just covering it up. Now, while we're on the subject of transparency, we got more lack of transparency. Here's another perfect article showing the lack of government transparency, not just in the United States, but with our neighbors to the north in Canada. So fury as Trudeau refuses to release the names of 900 Nazi war criminals who fled to Canada after World War II. Justice denied. You know what this means, right? You know what we can infer based off of this, right? That means some of these war criminal Nazis are probably in the government. So they're like, no, we can't be doing that because then we'll have maybe a rebellion. And then these people will realize that some of their public policy was crafted and implemented by Nazi war criminals. And then people might actually finally start questioning the justifications of their government or the legitimacy of their government. Like, holy shit, man. These Nazi war criminals came over here and they actually fucking played major roles in our government and our policy creation. So, they can't have that. They can't have that actual information out there. So, they make sure to fucking close that shit up. And us plebs, we're stupid enough to just allow this to go on. I mean, this is just insane. Total madness. Let's move on to our next article. Now, this is an interesting one. This is our buddy Trump here, right? New York Post. This was published yesterday. Trump announces pick to replace federal prosecutor targeting Mayor Adams. Now, Trump came out and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna replace this guy, this prosecutor who's targeting Mayor Adams. And not only is he targeting Mayor Adams, he's also the dude behind the P. Diddy investigation. So he's investigating all that fucking crazy shit that these elitists do in terms of human trafficking, these debauched parties of theirs. There are stories, there are reports coming out of these P. Diddy parties of, like, adolescents being raped, being dressed up like Barbie dolls and paraded around. There's some crazy next level shit coming out of this P. Diddy stuff that's very reminiscent to Jeffrey Epstein. We know that these elite cocksuckers are into this sort of stuff because they're debauched. They have no standards. They have none of that. They're just all about pleasing themselves. They're all about like satisfying this carnal pleasure. They're scumbags. And we're going to see several articles proving that. Now, what's interesting about this is a couple of days ago, do I have it over here? Yeah, I have it over here. This is a very recent video, but a couple days ago, like almost immediately after the election, Adams was asked about whether or not he was going to work with Trump to deport a lot of the illegal migrants. And his response was like, oh yeah, the voters have spoken. And like he basically was saying that he was going to work with Trump without saying that he was going to work with Trump. And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, look, Mayor Adams is going to be on Trump's side. And of course you had all the retards on the right saying, yeah, man, this is so awesome. We're winning. Then we have this. Adams was on The View. So this is a video from, I believe, Memology. New York City Mayor Adams dodges The View host bait as they beg him to attack Trump. And basically in this interview or in this discussion on the View, I'm not sure if it actually is an interview. I guess it wouldn't be an interview. It'd be more like he just came on the show and they were talking. He basically is like defending Trump. And it's very weird. People are like, oh yeah, this is just winning. No, the truth is that he's a slime ball and Trump is a slime ball. And Trump basically promised him, is like, yeah, don't worry. I'll replace this prosecutor that's targeting you. Just work with me. It's scumbaggery. Okay, this is one scumbag covering for another scumbag and justice being denied. This dude, Mayor Adams, he is a criminal. He gave out no-bid contracts, and a no-bid contract is basically like, yeah, we're just going to give a bunch of money to some scumbag that we're probably connected to at an outrageous inflated price. See, normally when like a city is going to like give out a contract, they give it to actually the lowest bidder. They don't give it to the highest bidder. It doesn't work like an auction. It works actually in reverse. And people are supposed to bid and say, hey, you know what? I can do it for this price. Somebody is like, I can do it for this lower price. Adams is like, no, I'm just going to give it to you guys. You don't have to bid. And just basically enriching his friends. Adams's girlfriend, he has this girlfriend who he gave a job to. I did cover it in last week. I know for sure now, actually, now that I'm talking about it. So if you didn't see last week's video, last week's stupidity, Adams gave his girlfriend a job in the DOE, the Department of Education here in New York City, and it's like a $240 something thousand job. She never fucking showed up to work. She was traveling around the world when she's supposed to be at work without actually calling in for vacation time. Somebody filed an ethics complaint. And then when they started to like look into this lady retired. And then this is actually really important because it's going to play into a story. Like a very similar thing happens in another story we're going to look at. She retired. She's going to get full pension. And the investigation into her is now, it can't go forward because they no longer have jurisdiction over her because she's retired. She's no longer an employee there. So she managed to weasel her way out. And this is just one of the many corrupt things that this mayor has done. And Trump is going to basically cover for him for whatever weird fucking reason. It's so weird. Like, what does Adams have on Trump? Like, does he know that maybe Trump was part of the taking out the Epstein garbage or something? I don't know. Just speculation. But Trump's a piece of shit, Adams a piece of shit, and the story remains the same. Let's move on to our next article. So this, I thought, was just disturbing, and I'm surprised more people didn't cover this. I guess they were all caught up in the Trump hysteria. But emotional Biden has to be guided on stage and kisses his sister on the lips at plaque unveiling for late son Beau. So this is his son who apparently died of like brain cancer or something. And watch, this is his sister over here. I guess he mistaked her for the wife, or that's just some weird shit that this family does. I mean, remember his daughter's diary, all the weird shit that she wrote in there. But then also remember when he was campaigning for president for the 2020 presidential thing, he had that moment with his granddaughter. Like his granddaughter was like campaigning with him, and he totally like fucking kisses her on the lips, and it's just disgusting. Because it wasn't even like a short kiss like this one. It was a little bit longer of a kiss. And it's just gross, man. These people are disgusting human beings. It's madness, and we're stupid for allowing this shit to just slide right on by. Anyway, let's go into our next article. We're not even halfway through these articles. I mean, I got a bunch of articles lined up here. Yeah. So, check this shit out, right? So, woman told House committee Matt Gaetz had sex with her when she was 17. Okay, this dude, Matt Gaetz, is a total scumbag. I mean, just look at him. I mean, if you look at this guy and you don't think snake in the grass, maybe you got to get your vision checked. You know, get a checkup from the neck up, actually. Just get a full checkup from the neck up. Because this dude is obviously a plastic snake, an obviously fake, overly made up character. Probably wearing makeup. He just looks like a disgusting human being. So this woman, and it's actually interesting because like this woman, now she's like, I believe like in her early 20s. I think now she's probably like 20 years old. This is like 3 years later because they've been investigating him for like basically 2.5 years when this first came out. Now what's interesting is his buddy, this guy Matt Gaetz apparently had a buddy who, when this came to light like 2.5 years ago that he was like sleeping with an underage chick, his buddy also got busted with underage human sex trafficking, and he's serving 11 years. Now, what I want to cover one of these stupid-ass comments. Where's that dumb-ass comment? I mean, all of these comments are dumb, because all of these comments, of course, it's Fox News, so you got all the brainwashed people on the right, like, trying to cover for him, right? So here it goes, right? This has been going on for years. The DOJ investigated it and apparently couldn't find anything, or they would have prosecuted him. No, that's not how it works, but you're talking about a bunch of corrupt criminals over there, right? They're just doing everything that they can to cover it up. Like all these years, like, shit, man, let's cover this up. But people are talking about it. They can't shut people up. So they're like, we'll cover it up. We'll pretend to investigate it. Yeah, we're just a pretend investigation. I'm curious, how many hours have they actually spent investigating this? Like if you were a fly on the wall in these supposed investigation, I can guarantee you it's less than a dozen hours, right? So anyway, let's read the rest of this comment, right? So is she accusing him of rape? No, apparently she consented. Bro, she's below the age of consent. You moron. And then it's like, so why the human trafficking claims? And it's like, bro, you obviously didn't read the article. This guy's buddy is serving like 11 plus years for human trafficking. Did she lie about her age? Like, bro, you're so stupid, bro. She didn't lie about her age. It's very fucking well known what happened here. This guy's a scumbag. Now, what's interesting is if you check the age... Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I almost forgot. Now, what's interesting is if you look at these social media, if you're on YouTube, this is how people are covering Matt Gaetz, right? And this is how you can tell it's a controlled narrative and that there's like a message out there. It's like, hey, guys, we have to start sending this message out here. So these two videos were like back to back. All right, so check this out. So Attorney General Matt Gaetz is the deep state's worst nightmare. Yeah, man, the deep state, bro. The deep state. Fucking stupidity, man. So deep state, and then right below it, this is from Blaze TV, which is that dude Glenn Beck. And then right below it, you got the bald head beanie guy. This guy, bro, just look up a picture of Tim Pool without his beanie. If this dude recorded videos without his beanie, nobody would be watching him. So, well, I mean, he's also a shill, so I guess maybe he would still get the algorithm in his favor. Whatever. This dude is a total fucking shill, total fake character. So, Deep State calls for weaponized DOJ against Matt Gaetz and Tulsi. I guess, and Tulsi to stop them. It's like, yeah, there's a deep state conspiracy here, guys. Don't look any further. Don't look into how much of a scumbag this guy actually is. It's all the deep state trying to convince you that he's a bad guy when he's not. It's like, no, he's a scumbag, right? Now, what's interesting is the connection between this article and the Adams article. Just like Eric Adams' girlfriend, like, weaseled her way out of her controversy, out of her criminality, this guy, Matt Gaetz, is trying to weasel his way out of his criminality by resigning from his position. So there's like this, this House committee that was investigating like his acts for the last 2 years, even though they actually weren't investigating it, I'm sure. But now that he's resigned, the committee, like the Speaker of the House, this Republican jerk-off, he's all like, oh yeah, we're not going to release the findings of this committee because we no longer have jurisdiction over Matt Gaetz because he's no longer a member of the House because he resigned. And now they're like, yeah, we don't want to release it. It's like, okay, good. Thank you for like not being transparent, because you're basically telling us, in other words, that this guy's a guilty scumbag. So anyway, that's this guy. And now our next dude. Oh, that's right. So this dude's like 42 years old, right? I think the age gap between the two is probably like 22 years. I think there's like a 21 or 22 year age gap. And I just want to remind everybody, there's a reason why these standards exist. There's a reason why this shit is wrong. And it has to do with the order of everything. There's a certain order to things. And when a person who's much older is sleeping with somebody much younger, it actually throws things out of balance. Okay, that's at least how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a complete idiot, but I think that these things exist for reasons. You know, I tell people all the time, hey, I don't make all the rules, but I tend to think that most of them at least, exist for a reason. You just kind of have to figure it out. Now, this plays right into our next article, which is RFK Jr.'s mistress, Olivia Nuzzi, makes dramatic court U-turn as ex accuses her of lying to everyone. Now, really what I want to focus on in this article, and look at that, there's Matt Gaetz and the 17-year-old, right? Now, what I want to focus on in this article is this dude, this scumbag, RFK, this womanizing dirtbag who pretends to be something that he's not. He's got like a 40-year age gap on this girl, bro. She's 31. This dude is 70. Okay, so not only is he corrupting her and fucking shit up in that regard, but she was actually in a relationship, and this dude just totally fucked that up. Maybe it's not entirely his fault. Of course, she has some, like, skin in the game. But this is just some sick shit, bro. You're 70 years old, bro, sleeping with somebody who's 31. 40-year age gap. That means when you were 40, this chick was just being born. And I don't care about this, oh man, it's just all about your pleasure, bro. You know, that's just a good girl, man. You're going to want to do the same thing when you're older. I know I won't, because I have standards. I have something called integrity. These people don't have any of that. They're all soulless, empty shells with zero integrity, and they're just scumbag. Anyway, let's move on to our next article. Oh, actually, this plays into the RFK, right? So this is just little evidence that RFK is a total scumbag. So this dude was before Congress the other day. Was it Congress or was it the Senate? I think it was a congressional like committee, whatever. He was there and they like called him like an anti-vaxxer or whatever. And he was all like, I've never been anti-vaccine, right? And he claims he's never been anti-vaccine. He tells Congress, he tells like the congressional committee that he's been getting flu shots for like the last 20 years, that he got his kids flu shots. And he's all like talking like he's a vaccine proponent, and he's a total fake scumbag. He wasn't talking about adjuvants in vaccines and how those adjuvants in vaccine agitates a person's immune system, and how that agitating of a person's immune system can actually lead to autoimmune disorders and can lead to other issues like allergies and immune system hyperactivity. He doesn't talk about any of that. Instead, he acts like vaccines are perfectly fine, and the only vaccine he had a problem with was the COVID vaccine, and he only had a problem with the COVID vaccine at the time because there wasn't enough testing on it. And now he's all pro-COVID vaccine because there's been enough time to vet it, and he's going to completely ignore the VAERS data. Total scumbag. Total lack of integrity, two-faced, lying scumbag. Does anybody on the right talk about this? Hell no. I'm sure that they've seen this stuff. I'm sure, like, if they're looking at the news, they seem to be really invested in reading the news. It would have been very hard for them to miss this. That fucking RFK Congressional Committee, I saw the video, and I wasn't even looking for it. And this is something that boggles my mind, actually. I have to digress and mention this. Sometimes I ask myself, like, I see a shill covering a topic, and they'll have, like, some super nuanced information, and I'm just like, how did you even get that? Like, you had to have received a script from that. And sometimes there'll be something that, like, is sort of breaking news, and then they're, like, ready with a video that has, like, this nuanced information, and it's like, damn, dude. Did you even have to do any research? Did you have to do any homework? Or did somebody just send you a script to read? And this reminds me of exactly what happens to the news companies. That's exactly what happens to our mainstream news. They basically get sent scripts by whoever, probably the CIA, some central office or something, and then they just read those scripts, and it's just basically news. That's exactly what they're doing with these shills in these social media platforms. And that's why they get these videos out so quick, and that actually makes it even harder to compete with them. Because it's like they can get that information out real quick. They don't actually have to do any research or any homework. Of course, they have like a whole team of editors and stuff. I don't have any of that. I'm actually solo. I'm actually independent. I have to take the time to compile all this stuff. I have to take the time to analyze it, think about it, consider it, and then record it and then edit it. And that's all very time consuming. So, scumbags all around. Next article. We're now going to be moving over into government madness. Some more government madness. I guess we're not moving anywhere. We've been talking about government madness this whole time. So, mother of four is handcuffed in front of her children and hauled to jail for letting 11-year-old son walk less than a mile into town where just 370 people live. So this is the story. I'll just give you the rundown. I don't have to read the article. I read it already. So this mother, she had I think it was like a doctor's appointment in town. And she had to make that appointment with one of her kids. She's a mother of four, right? So her son, the 11-year-old, he wasn't around when it came to having to go into town. So she was like, all right, whatever, I'll just go into town. And she says in this article that she's like into raising her kids the way she was raised, kind of like more free, somewhat independent and stuff. So what ends up happening is the son finds out the mom left, so he decides to walk into town on his own. It's not like his mother told him to walk into town. She had no idea that he was going to be walking into town. So while he's walking to town, this fucking Karen, this lady, ends up calling the cops and like ends up reporting him walking to town. And the cops pull up and they're like, oh, we have to pre-crime this. And we have to say, well, he could have been injured. He could have been, he wasn't, but we're going to pre-crime this shit, you know, like fucking Minority Report. And they're like, well, because he could have been injured, like they basically end up calling the mom. The mom's like, oh man, I had no idea. Thank you. I'll make sure to talk to my son, and whatnot. Then like a day later or 2 days later, the cops show up to her house and arrest her for, I guess, not knowing where her son is. It's like, you know, it's like, I'm sorry, I don't have a tracker on my son. Then they give her the option. They're like, look, we'll, like they send the like Child Protective Services after her, and they tell her, okay, we'll drop the charges if you make your son have a tracking app on his phone. And they're like, yeah, he's got to download this tracking app that will track him, and he's got to do all of this fucking shit of just government overreach and invasion of privacy. And the mom's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So they're like, all right, if you're not going to do that, we're going to throw you in jail for a year and charge you like a ridiculous fine. Which is contradictive and hypocritical, because it's like, wait a second, you're punishing her for not knowing where her kids are at all the time. So what happens if you have her in jail for a year. You think she's going to be able to, like, watch her kids in jail? No, it's like complete insanity. I mean, these people, they deserve the worst to come to them. I promise you all, if I get power,
It's gonna be hell to pay. Cause I ain't daddy's little boy no more.
I'm going to make sure justice is served.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
So anyway, our next article, this is just now stupidity. We're just going to get into pure undiluted stupidity here. So New York Post article, November 12th, your sweet tooth may be genetic, and your DNA could be pushing you to eat more, says new study. It's just bullshit. It's even in the title. They're almost admitting to you in the title with the words that they use that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. With this sort of language, oh, your sweet tooth may be doing this, and your DNA could be doing this. Do we know for sure? No, we don't. We're a bunch of idiots. Give us more of your money. How much money do you think went into this study? I can only imagine hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, to come up with total bullshit that people have actually been saying for a long time. Like, I remember when I was younger, they were like, oh yeah, there's the fat gene. The fat gene, it makes you want to eat more, and it makes you have more of a sweet tooth. It's like, no, dude, it's just whatever. Total garbage study. Next one, and this falls into the same category. Autism may be caused by toxins breathed in by millions every day, as scientists reveal states most at risk. It's just complete insanity, all right? Just more of this weasel word language, this sophistry. This may be this could be that. We don't really know what the hell we're talking about, but give us more of your money. All right, I think we're at the halfway point now. Now we're going to be talking about all the crazy teachers. Okay, all the crazy lack of self-control with those people over there. So anti-Trump teacher storms out of classroom over student's MAGA shirt before sending epic email rant. I'm going to read a couple paragraphs from here, right? So a California teacher, no surprise there's got to be something in the water over there. It's not the air that they're breathing. There's something in their water or something, right? So a California teacher reportedly stormed out of her classroom after seeing a student wear a Make America Great Again shirt last week. The unidentified Spanish teacher at Cerritos High School later sent students a lengthy email in which she argued that MAGA clothes are meant to intimidate both students and teachers and called President-elect Donald Trump a fascist. No, lady, I think that your actions are meant to intimidate students and teachers. How can you make this assumption? It's like, wait, they can't just be like proud and happy with them being stupid and not being able to see through the Trump delusion. Well, let them fucking be deluded, lady. It's not to intimidate both students and teachers. She also argued in her missive that it is unfair that students can wear political clothes, but teachers cannot, saying that she is speaking to ABC Unified School District officials about the policy and is in talks with my union representatives and attorneys. Yeah, this lady's completely unhinged. You're there at a professional capacity. You're being paid there. Those students have to be there. There's a complete difference between the two. You're a pathetic human being. I hope the best for you. Anyway, listen to California teacher's shocking anti-Trump rant to high school history students. Yeah, this guy's a total nut job. Let's see if actually the audio's going to play.
This is not a game. This is not a game. Does that make sense, everybody? Can't emphasize this enough. Can you end up in a concentration camp in your lifetime? Yes. Can you end up with no human rights? Yes. Will it happen to you? Most likely not. Which is a good thing. But has Donald Trump quoted Hitler? Yes.
Bunch of brainwashed idiots. Like, this guy is a real piece of work. Do they have a picture of him? I think that's the only picture that they have of him is this little bit of a picture of him right here. Like, what a scumbag. So, foul-mouthed Connecticut teacher learns harsh lesson after threatening to kill Trump supporters. These people are deranged, right? So, a foul-mouthed Connecticut teacher was forced to leave her dream job and resign after threatening to kill Donald Trump voters in a viral video. She's 30 years old, of this place, was left feeling heartbroken after she resigned from Chapman Elementary School after receiving massive backlash over her threats. It's my life's dream to be a teacher, this lady said. I consider those kids to be my kids, and they feel that for me, and it's just so fulfilling, so rewarding. And I really know that what people see right now, I don't look like that person, but I truly would do anything to help any child and family in need. Bro, you're a scumbag. Just look at this lady. Take the filter off. Like, stop being overly, like, this is a filter, or is she just overly made up? Look at this. She's got, like, this, like, these silly rings on. Her nails are all done. God knows how much she pays for that. I could say a lot about this lady. Anyway, let's move on to another totally unhinged maniac. This is a university this time. University of Oregon staffer tells Trump voters to kill themselves after his election victory. Complete madness. Complete stupidity. Unhinged Kamala Harris supporter who told conservative influencer she deserved to be raped is an Oscar-nominated film producer. See, this lady was just walking around. She had like some Trump sneakers on, she claims. And this guy is just like, MAGA shoes, you've definitely been raped. And then he goes on to say, you deserve to be raped. Like, bro, how fucking dumb are you? How insane are you to talk to a complete stranger like this? And you can just look at him. To me, he looks like he has the same psychological profile as Matt Gaetz. I'm sure this sicko, I'm sure like he was just trying to get with her. He's just like look how much I love women. I love women so much. I'm going to tell you this horrible thing. Look at this scumbag. He calls her a dumb shit. And it's funny because he's actually the producer of the film American Sniper, the most lethal sniper in U.S. history. This is the producer, right? Look at this total piece of work, guys. Total piece of work. Next article. I'm a 31-year-old preschool teacher. I will never have children because Donald Trump is president. No, lady, you're just making excuses. You're never going to have children because nobody likes you, because you're probably intolerable to be around. She got a hamster wheel. Who has a pet hamster, man? Those things smell terrible. Another scumbag, basically, you know, and this is great. I know some people like this. Like, I've dealt with people like this. They blame other people for their own failures. It's pathetic. It's like, yeah, I'm never going to have children. Why? It's not because I'm a horrible human being. It's because of Donald Trump. Scumbags. Okay, Minnesota dad who ranted against Trump election, gunned down wife, ex-girlfriend, and his 2 kids in murder-suicide. Now, this is where, like, something that really upsets me. Because, of course, this happens because of the insane narratives that are pushed in the media and by crazy people like that teacher that was telling his kids that Trump is Hitler and that they're going to lose their rights and end up in concentration camps. Actually, I'm sorry. He didn't say that they are. He asked them if that could happen. And then he was like, it probably won't happen, but it could happen. And it's like, bro, you're schizophrenic as fuck, dude. So, of course, you know, some actual crazy people or some really dumb people hear this stuff. Trump wins the election. They snap. They go crazy. Other people don't really care about it as much as they do. So they have to kill those people. I don't even understand. This is sick, bro. 2 innocent kids? Really, dude? What a scumbag. I really hope there's a hell, and I hope he's rotting in some of the deepest pits of it. Next article. This one is insane. I might make a video just solely on this article. Okay, so Mark Zuckerberg, 40, gets low with cringe rap remix in latest schmaltzy tribute to wife Priscilla Chan. And I guess that's why it's in like the female section, because this is like for his wife, right? So what's interesting is He did this collaboration with another dude who's also exactly 40, which is interesting. You got 4 and 4. But check out what they're wearing. His pendant here is a pyramid with what looks like an all-seeing eye at the top. And then if you look at this guy's stuff over here, his hat also has the triangle with the all-seeing eye. It looks like in the center. This is another guy who I believe should be prosecuted. You know, Socrates was supposedly made to drink poison because they claimed he was corrupting the minds of the youth. I think we should do a similar thing with scumbags like this. Okay, if I got into office, if I got into power, trust me, there would be hell to pay. Every single one of these scumbags would be held accountable for their crimes. Oh man, they would be total hell to pay. Every single last one of them, all their finances, all their fucking assets would be stripped from them, and it would be used to pay off whatever national debt that we have that they're responsible for. We have that debt because they mislead the public, they corrupt us, they divert our attention. Every single one of them would have all of their assets stripped. But anyway, let's move on to our next article. These bunch of scumbags. And people, I want to just say that this is stupid for us not catching on to this stuff. Okay, so anyway, oh man, I cannot stand this scumbag. So anyway, let's move on to our next article. California cops who are trialing Teslas ahead of ban on gas vehicles say they are nearly unusable. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. You couldn't just look at, like, the specs of the car and determine that well ahead of time? Like, this is stupid, bro. How much money was wasted on this trialing program? Anybody that owns a Tesla, I'm sorry, every time I see a Tesla, I just automatically, I know exactly not exactly what sort of individual. There's probably like 3 or 4 different categories, like 3 or 4 different psychological profiles that they fall under. But I don't have anything good to say about any of them, right? So now our next article, it falls right under this category. And of course, Elon Musk, is he going to be held accountable for any of this? I don't even know how this stuff gets approved. That's how you can just tell that Musk is part of the club, and he's got some pretty good connections. Because that dude should be in jail for fraud already. You know, Thunderfoot does a really good job at showing how much of a fraud Elon Musk is. So anyway, we got this article. It's titled, "Terrified Friends Burned to Death Trapped Inside Crashed Tesla After Its Electronic Doors Failed." I've seen videos of not even cars that were like on fire. I think like the battery died or something on them. And they're in their car and they can't open the doors because these doors need electricity in order to open. So if there's no electricity going through the car because the battery dies, then you're either trapped in the car or you're trapped from being able to get inside of the car. Like, how is this approved? How is this safe at all? How is this not like regulated like everything else is regulated for safety? It's insanity. It's stupidity. So our next article, this one, actually, I guess I should have put this next to the guy that killed his ex-girlfriend. So Power Lesbian, I don't know why they're calling her Power Lesbian. Kind of weird, whatever. So Power Lesbian, Corey Berkey, murders her father with an ice axe in election night meltdown at Seattle home. So she claims that she murdered him because like he was playing some like TV or he was making some noise and he wouldn't lower down the volume. So she decided to go crazy, and this is just a fucking crazy article. And of course, you have this line here, right? So the police report also includes her claims that she'd been reborn on her 33rd birthday last month. Does this mean that she like got into some club? She had some ritual, some initiation ritual. They reborn her. Is this like becoming a born again Christian? There's some weird stuff here. But man, she brutally murders this guy. She bit him on the face. And then, like, she, like, broke all the windows, and she was, like, screaming, acting like a total psychopath. And you can just tell. I mean, just look at this lady. I mean, when I see people like this, not lesbians, I'm not talking about lesbians, but I'm talking about people who dress themselves up like this, I just immediately, I'm like, I can draw some psychological things from that. I can psychoanalyze some of the stuff that the person's doing here. And you can just tell, not mentally well. Anyway, next article. Read the chilling testimony of Navy veteran due to testify on UFO cover-up. We're being visited. So this is, of course, more of the UFO nonsense. I don't know why they're pushing this shit so hard, but they're pushing it. And, of course, this time they're like, we got a Navy veteran. And they always try to make it like, you know, they always have like this, like a high-profile individual saying this shit, some sort of like appeal to authority or something. And it's like, look, he said it, so it must be true. But remember, we covered this article in our last week's video with the Pentagon chief who revealed high-res photos of a UFO mothership, and it turned out it wasn't a UFO mothership, and he was claiming that he got the pictures from the Pentagon, and then somebody did like an image search of it, and they found, oh no, it actually came from a Facebook post from like a couple years ago. And this was a Pentagon chief, man, spreading that bullshit. Over here, now you got a Navy veteran. Hey, man, if they work for the government at this capacity, chances are they're also connected with some counterintelligence program.
Could this be a trap?
I always think everything could be a trap, which is why I'm still alive.
Anyway, let's move on to our next article here. I'm like running out of fucking steam here. Long week, and I've been recording now for an hour. Holy crap. My voice is getting hoarse, and I'm just not feeling very great right now. This mosquito that's been eating me alive, I wouldn't be surprised that if it transferred some virus into my system, and now I'm going to just like suddenly die in a couple days. So, fact check. Oh yeah, that's right. This is just going back to this guy claiming that he was never anti-vaccine. Even though, like, he came out with a bunch of anti-vaccine rhetoric a couple years ago. But, of course, that was just a lie. That was just him trying to get votes and him just trying to appeal to the dumb masses. And, of course, people fucking ate it up. Hook, line, and sinker. Pathetic. So, young father of 4 dies on Oregon Trail after venturing out for solo hike. I mean, this stuff is just dumb. This guy was, like, found in the snow. He didn't have a jacket. He's, like, apparently he's an experienced hiker. But this day he goes out on a solo hike. And then he never made it back home. And then they found his body. Now, I saw this picture of him. And, like, to me, I asked myself, like, why are you standing over here in this picture? Like, this is such a weird place to take a picture. Like, and he just looks goofy as hell. Couldn't have been a very intelligent person. However, it's interesting because it's possible if he was an experienced hiker, he's a doctor, is it possible that he died suddenly? Like, is it possible that he didn't die because of stupidity? He didn't die because, like, he ventured out on this hike, like, unprepared? Is it possible that he got the unmentionable, because he is a doctor, I'm sure he loves the unmentionables, and is it possible that he got it and then suddenly died while out on this hike? Interesting thing. I'm just, just curious. All right, so it looks like this is going to be our last article, and it's a good thing because as I said, I'm out of steam here. Long day, long week, and long video. So JetBlue plane comes under gunfire while taking off from Haiti hours after attack on Spirit Airlines flight. So check out how stupid this is, right? First of all, it's stupid that anybody's even going to Haiti still. Okay, but a plane came into Haiti, and the plane that came into Haiti was shot at. It was shot up by a bunch of savages, and there was a report on that. There was a news report on that. And then hours later, another plane is like, hey, you know what? It would be a good idea to take off. It's like, bro, you don't think that you're going to get shot at too? And when that plane took off, of course, it was also shot at. So anyway, that ends this video. Unfortunately, As one of these other YouTubers has said, there's like a Romanian saying. It's like, the mother of idiots is always pregnant, and she's always pregnant with triplets. You know, it's just insane. Idiots multiply quicker than normal people. It's just the sad fact of our reality. But anyway, I'm done. I'm beat. It's 11:30 at night where I'm at. I've been up since like fucking 5:10 in the morning. I had a good like hour and a half nap. But I'm done, man. I'm just burnt out right now. I got to work my second job this weekend. I'm just overworked right now. But I love you guys. I love humanity in all its stupidity and all its greatness. I really do have a lot of love for this planet and for the people who inhabit it. And I really do want the best for everybody. So stay happy, stay healthy, and stay sharp.
Our relationship has not been based on mutuality of admiration or respect.
Huh?
Well, put more simply, you hate my bird guts and I think you're dumber than mud.
Well, good night.